Number 1. Plaza Vieja. This beautiful square in Havana's Old Town is filled with bright, colorful buildings and lots of bars, restaurants, and cafes. It's a great place to wander for people watching and photography. I highly recommend grabbing a bite to eat at an al fresco cafe or sipping a cocktail at one of the many bars with balconies overlooking the plaza. Number 2. Revolution Square. This square has many unique landmarks, including the Jose Marti Memorial and the 2 government buildings with sculptures of Che Guevara and Camilo Cienfuegos. This is also a great spot to see many of the old cars that Cuba is so famous for, and to bargain for a ride at a cheaper price than many of the spots in Old Town. Number 3. La Bodegita del Medio and El Floridita. If you're an Ernest Hemingway fan, you can't miss out on 2 of his favorite watering holes. La Bodegita is famous for delicious mojitos, and El Floridita is known for daiquiris. You can pick from several different flavors, with my favorite being the mango. Both spots have a fun atmosphere and live music playing throughout the day and night. Number 4. Necropolis Cristobal Colon. Located in the Vedado neighborhood, this is Havana's main cemetery and one of great historical significance. It's second in the world only to La Recoleta in Buenos Aires. This cemetery has many elaborate sculpted memorials and is like walking through a miniature city of bronze, polished marble, angels, crosses, and rich symbolism. Number 5. El Malecon. The Malecon is a 7-kilometer stretch of road along the seaside in Havana. This sea boulevard runs from the colonial center of Havana Vieja all the way to El Vedado. Take a ride in a classic car along this famed stretch of road and you'll see tons of historical architecture and many Cubans fishing, playing games, and watching the sunset as the waves crash on the seawall. Number 6. El Centro. El Centro is the real Havana. It is the most densely populated neighborhood in the city, and walking through this area really gives you a glimpse into Cuban life. There are kids playing in the streets, old ladies hanging laundry, and people buying their daily groceries at the mercados. Wandering here really makes you feel like you've stepped into a time machine. There's 1950s department store ads and classic cars parked everywhere. Some of the best places to check out in El Centro are the cigar factories and Barrio Chino, Havana's very own Chinatown. Number 7. Plaza De La Catedral. Plaza De La Catedral is one of Havana's most beautiful squares. The Cathedral of Havana is Havana's finest example of Baroque architecture. The entire square is filled with gorgeous buildings and is a fun spot to sit, have a drink, or get your palm read by one of the fortune tellers sitting in the plaza. Number 8. Parque Historico Militar Morro Cabana. On the opposite side of the bay from Havana are 2 old forts, El Morro and La Cabana. This historic fort complex was responsible for the protection of Havana for centuries. You can spend a half a day wandering through this large complex with sweeping views of Havana. I highly recommend coming here for sunset and the famous cannon blasting ceremony at 9 p.m. Number 9. Paseo Del Prado. The Prado is known as Havana's most beautiful street. This tree-lined boulevard was once home to Havana's wealthiest families. Nowadays, it's a great spot to people watch. There are many local artists selling their wares and families gathering under the trees. Stroll down the Prado and admire some of the most beautiful buildings in all of Havana. The street begins at the Fuente de la India and runs all the way to the Malecon. Number 10. Havana Vieja. Havana's old town is where the city was first established. It is filled with beautifully restored buildings and countless museums and shops. It became a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 1982. You can easily spend the day wandering the cobblestone streets of Calle Mercaderes and exploring the 4 plazas. There's so much to see and do here. I highly recommend just taking the day and getting lost in the streets. I hope you've enjoyed this tour through Havana's best sights. For more great tips and tricks when you're traveling through the country, make sure to subscribe to Where I've Been Wandering.